Hello friends, welcome to Insights ICANN initiative. In today's video, we are going to cover all these 5 topics, which starts with climate finance and ends with the Pradhan Mantri Schools for Rising India scheme. Okay, by the way, our first topic would be the climate finance and US 100 billion goal OECD. This report is from OECD. Here we are going to discuss about what is OECD and what is this report is all about. You know that for achieving climate goals, every year we are organizing COP meetings. Recently COP27 meeting held and now COP28 meeting is going to be happen. If you know, let me know students where the COP28 meeting is going to be. Put your answer in the comment section. So before COP28 meeting, we are going to assess what are our commitments towards the climate finance. Actually, we have to reduce the global warming. You know that is our climate goal. To achieve this, we require certain money. Why? Because we have to put that money on inventing new technology, as well as we have to transfer the technology from developed countries to developing countries and underdeveloped countries, so that the dependence on the coal, the dependence on the fossil fuels will be reduced, so that carbon emissions also will be reduced. So financing is playing very important role in terms of the climate finance. Now let's see whether we are towards achieving that our finance goal or not, whether we are going towards mobilizing that funds or not, whether we are lagging behind or not. So let's see what is this OECD is talking about. This is about climate finance. Ahead of the COP28 meeting, it's going to be in UAE, Dubai. The OECD, they released, what is the name of the report? That is climate finance and US $100 billion goal. This report is showing that the developed countries, they fell short of their promise to mobilize $100 billion a year towards climate mitigation. Actually, this climate mitigation fund, it was mainly proposed in COP27 as a part of the loss and damage fund. Okay, that is a loss and damage is a fund which gives money when any climate disaster happens, whereas this mitigation fund is all about preventing the climate change. To prevent the adverse climate changes, this fund was proposed. And the OECD, now let's see, OECD is an intergovernmental economic organization, and it is founded to stimulate economic progress, as well as it is based on, it is based on a country, it is based on Paris. The headquarters is based in Paris. OECD member countries are generally, they are the high income countries with very high human development index. That means the life expectancy and the literacy percentages are very high in the OECD countries. Of course, India is not a member of the OECD. That is a key thing we have to remember. Recent countries which are joined in the OECD are Costa Rica in May 2021 and Colombia in 2020. And some of the prominent reports published by OECD are Government at a Glance and OECD Better Life Index. These are the reports published by OECD. Now let's see what are the key outcomes of this report, key findings of this report. First one is regarding the total climate finance. In 2021, the total climate finance provided by the developed countries towards the developing countries, it is around only $89.6 billion rather than $100 billion. It is showing a reduction of 7.6 over the previous year, increase over the previous year, but still it is less than our goal of $100 billion. That means in 2020, the mobilization of funds is somewhat less. Why? Because of the COVID pandemic and all these things. Drop in adaptation finance. We know that adaptation is also required. That means if any disaster comes, how we can adapt to that disaster, or else our lifestyle, how it should be adapted so that we can prevent the disasters. Adaptation finance dropped by around $4 billion in 2021, resulting in decrease in share of the total finance from 34% to 27%. That means when 100 rupees are collected for the climate finance, out of that 100, 34 rupees will be dedicated to the adaptation fund. Now instead of 34, now we got only 27 rupees for the adaptation fund. Adaptation is all about how we are changing our lifestyle and our infrastructure according to the climate change. The loan dominance in climate finance. Out of this $100 billion, $73.1 billion of finance, it is mobilized in 2021 by the public sector through bilateral as well as multilateral channels, whereas $49.6 billion they are provided as loans. See here, 49.6%, $6 provided as loans. That means significant component is a loan component. What are the issues with OECD report? What are the issues? What are the areas it is not considered properly? First of all, ambiguity and lack of clarity in definitions. In OECD, certain words such as like climate finance, it is a very ambiguous word and it is not clear about which countries should contribute how much amount of the money. This kind of ambiguity is leading that developed countries, they are showing that they are contributing a lot of money even though they are not. So this kind of ambiguity must be removed. And challenges with the additionality. The principle of new and additional finance. It is a new component. It is stipulated by UNFCCC. It is to prevent diverting existing money for the climate purpose has been questioned. Whether it is truly functioning or not. Actually, this intention is good. It is preventing the diversion of funds related to climate finance, but it is not actually being implemented in reality. That was about the first topic. Second topic is about the NIA. Recently NIA, they registered a case on an organization which is known as Six for Justice. Why case registered against the Six for Justice? Because they given a terrorist attack. They given a warning regarding the terror attack towards the Indian Airlines. Actually, this Six for Justice, it is a terrorist organization. It was banned by Government of India for its unlawful association in 2019 because it involved in anti-national and subversive activities. That means a radicalization of the youth towards Khalistan. That because of the Khalistan issue, the relation between the India and Canada, recently these relations comes under strain. That means they comes under questioned. And 5 Alliance also, they supported Canada that they got some information related that India is trying to kill that Sikh separatist leader who is living in Canada. The NIA invoked, normally this NIA, National Investigation Agency, it invokes Indian Penal Code as well as UAPA Act. Initially, UAPA Act used to applicable only to organizations. Later, it was amended and it expanded even to the individuals also. NIA is an organization responsible for investigating crimes related to terrorism, insurgency and other national security matters. It was established in 2009 through an act, that is National Investigation Act 2008. That means NIA is a statutory body that we have to understand. What is aviation security? Now, because this is related to aviation, let us see what is the aviation security. Aviation security is measurements and protocols related to safeguarding the civil aviation against unlawful activities such as terrorist attack, hijacking, sabotage means damage. The Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, it is one of the national regulator for civil aviation security in India. This BCAS, initially it was set up as a cell, later it upgraded to as an agency on the recommendation of Pandey Committee. Pandey Committee recommended that this agency should be elevated as a bureau. So that is the reason it was upgraded as Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. It takes care about the civil aviation security in India. In terms of international level, Convention on International Civil Aviation. This is popularly known as Chicago Convention, and this convention came into force on the auspices of International Civil Aviation Organization, a specialized agency of UNO. Under this organization, this convention will be implemented. This convention takes care about the civil aviation security across the globe. The Chicago Convention, it serves as a foundational treaty for international civil aviation. So international civil aviation security will be offered by Chicago Aviation. Third one, this is regarding the Uttarakashi tunnel collapse. Here we are going to discuss what is this tunnel is all about, which areas it is connecting, what are the possible reasons for this tunnel collapse, and of course because of these disasters, unexpected human life can be possible. To prevent that, we have a special agency that is known as NDRF. We are going to discuss about that as well. First, let us see This tunnel is going to connect Barkot portal as well as the Silkyara, Barkot as well as the Silkyara. These two places are going to be connected through this tunnel, and it was collapsed. And this tunnel is around 4.53 kilometer long, and it is a bidirectional tunnel. That means in two direction it offers both to and fro. It is on the Yamunadri National Highway in Uttarakhand district. Actually, this tunnel is a program of Chardham as a part of the Chardham connectivity project. You know that Chardham includes Gangotri, Yamunotri and Badrinath and Kedarnath. To improve the all-weather connectivity towards Yamunotri, this project was been expected, and unfortunately the tunnel collapse was happened. Possible causes of failure related to tunnel. One might be the loose patch of rock. That means the rock might be loose, because of that the rock it got cracked, so that it got collapsed. The second one is seepage of water. Obviously the loose rock, what it allows the seepage of water into the rock, so that rock will get collapsed. That is due to seepage of water. And the Chardham project, it is a part of a two-lane highway project that is connects this this Chardham project is a two-lane highway project currently under the construction in the state of Uttarakhand by BRO. It is a 900 kilometer highway connecting the pilgrimage sites of, like I said earlier, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Yamunotri and Gangotri. These four areas are going to be connected through this Chardham project. Okay. Then NDRF. NDRF is an organization which deals with the disasters. NDRF was formed in 2005 according to the Disaster Management Act 2005. The main task of NDRF is it conducts a rescue operation, especially during the natural as well as the man-made disasters such as floods, cyclones, earthquakes and industrial accidents such as Bhopal gas accident. Chairman of NDRF is Prime Minister. The fourth topic in today's video is the tantalum. Tantalum is a metal and it is having high melting point. So because of its high melting point, it is going to have a lot of industrial uses. And what is the atomic number of this and where this was discovered? Let us see about the tantalum. Team of researchers from the Indian Institute of Technology, Ropar, they found a presence of tantalum metal. It's a very rare metal which is they discovered in Satluj River Sand, Punjab. It is a rare metal with atomic number 73. Tantalum is. Then properties. It is having high corrosion resistance. That means it won't get rust very quickly, so that it can be used in places where the rust is very dangerous. So, and it's a high melting point, like like tungsten. Only few metals have a high melting point, such as tungsten and rhenium. It's almost all immune to chemical attack. Even at the rate at below 150 degrees centigrade, it is not going to be changed at all. And it can be attacked even by the hydrochloric acid and acidic solution containing the fluoride ion and free sulfur trioxide. Even though it is subjected to attack by these chemicals also, it is not going to be affected. That much very strong. Okay. And what are the uses of this tantalum in terms of electronic sector? Because of this capacitor requires the storage of energy in a very less space. Tantalum is capable of storing more electricity in very smaller size without leakage, so that it can be useful as a capacitor even in the upcoming electricity vehicles. Substitute for platinum, because of its high melting point, wherever platinum is using, that platinum can be substituted with tantalum, and of course platinum is very expensive, so we can reduce the cost of manufacturing as well. High speed machine tools. The high speed machine tools which requires very hard materials, because of this hardness offered by this tantalum in the high speed machine tools, this can be used. So this is about the tantalum. That is the fourth topic. The fifth one, PM-SHRI Yojana. Here PM-SHRI stands for Pradhan Mantri Schools for Rising India. This is about improving the school standards, especially schools which are controlling by central government, state government and various trusts. That means more or less government schools. Their standards are going to be raised, and even students' standards also will be very regularly, those standards will be assessed. Now let's see the funding program of this project as well as who are going to take care about this project. Let's see why it is in news. The Union Education Minister recently they launched Pradhan Mantri Schools for Rising India SHRI scheme in Odisha. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. You know that centrally sponsored scheme means in the normal state it will be the 60-40, in the special category states 90-10. This was announced in 2022, and under this scheme development of more than 14,500 schools across the country by strengthening the existing schools under central government, state government and local bodies. Whatever the school under these agencies, those schools will be strengthened. The duration of this scheme is from 2022 to 26-27. After that, the responsibility of maintaining the schools will be shifted to the state government. The total cost of this project is around 27,360 crores. Out of this, central government share will be the 18,128 crores. It is going to be implemented over the span of 5 years. Of course, state government funding sharing, it depends on whether the state is having the special category status or not. Now let's see what are the focus. All the learning outcomes will be focused, and they will be these learning outcomes, whether the children are getting benefited or not, they will be regularly assessed as well based on the conceptual understanding, application of knowledge in real life situations. The special assessment program is school quality assessment framework. It will be, it is being developed. It will assess the students' learning outcomes under this project. Now we will see yesterday's video question. As per the recommendations, state share in the divisible pool of taxes for 2021 should be reduced from, according to the recommendations, 42% to 41%. The share got reduced. Now let's see today's video question. With reference to OECD, consider the following statements. Read the two statements and pick the right statement. OECD, especially when you are looking at these kind of international organizations, you have to check whether India is having the membership or not. Mains question, what are the major impacts of climate change in India, and discuss the mitigation and adaptation strategy employed by the country to tackle it. What kind of mitigation and adaptation strategy we can follow. Now, as we reach to the end of this video, let us do a quick revision. In this video, we discussed following 5 topics: climate finance, NIA and civil aviation security, Uttarakhand tunnel collapse, Tantalum and Pradhan Mantri schools for Rising India. These are the 5 topics we discussed, and this is the detailed analysis of current issues. Thank you.